big story that we are tracking at this moment. Does a degree define a leader? Can a qualification instill patriotism? Will an education alone ensure success? In a democracy like India, we don't discriminate on the basis of people's caste, creed, social standing, or even education. Literary and philosophical legacy of Rabindranath Tagore, who was a college dropout, the world's first woman Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, was just a school pass, and today a chaiwala has won the mandate of the people, but it's being mocked by opposition parties because posters put up outside offices of the Aam Aadmi Party are asking if the PM should be educated. Others say he is the least literate Prime Minister in the history of India. This is a part of the Aam Aadmi Party's offensive against the Prime Minister, where Arvind Kejriwal had earlier said that the Prime Minister, that's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is the least educated and does not deserve to lead the country.
उसमें तो एक जनरल सवाल है कि भाई देश का प्रधानमंत्री कैसा होना चाहिए। भाई ये तो एक सामान्य सा सवाल है। अब वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों को क्यों लग रहा है कि उन्हीं के प्रधानमंत्री पे अटैक हो रहा है। अभी मुझे अभी पता चला कि वो प्रधानमंत्री जी के यहाँ से शायद पीएमओ से फोन आया होगा, कोई पुलिस का दरोगा आकर के पोस्टर फाड़ रहा था। अरे भाई एक सिंपल सा सवाल है कि क्या देश का प्रधानमंत्री पढ़ा लिखा होना चाहिए।
राहुल गांधी की सदस्यता समाप्त कर दी इन लोगों ने। डरते हो यार, तुम लोग तो बहुत डरपोक निकले। भारत के इतिहास में सबसे भ्रष्ट प्रधानमंत्री अगर कोई हुआ है, भारत के इतिहास में सबसे कम पढ़ा लिखा प्रधानमंत्री अगर हुआ है, मैं नहीं समझता आजाद भारत में कोई 12वीं पास प्रधानमंत्री हुआ है।
बिल्कुल सही है। राहुल गांधी जी हार्वर्ड के पढ़े, कैम्ब्रिज के पढ़े, और जभी तो उनकी बात कोई नहीं समझ पा रहे। मोदी जी ने खुद ही कहा था कि मैं तो पढ़ा लिखा हूं नहीं, मुश्किल से हाई स्कूल कर लिया हूं। झूठ बोलने में उनको डर नहीं लगता क्योंकि एजुकेशन नहीं है।
मैं आम आदमी पार्टी को सलाह देना चाहता हूं, केजरीवाल साहब, जितना दुष्प्रचार आप प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बारे में करेंगे ना, उतनी प्रधानमंत्री जी की लोकप्रियता बढ़ती है। और जिस प्रकार से आप मोदी जी को, जिस प्रकार से आप दुष्प्रचार कर रहे हैं, उनको अनपढ़ बोल रहे हैं, उनको गालियां निकाल रहे हैं, देश की जनता देख रही है और इसका उचित स्थान, उचित समय पे आपको इसका जवाब जरूर देगी। मोदी जी ने देश का नाम रोशन किया है, इसलिए मैं आपको चिता रहा हूं और आपको गारंटी करता हूं, अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब, दिल्ली के अंदर आपको एक भी लोकसभा सीट नहीं मिलेगी।
All right, so what do you make of this latest attack on the Prime Minister? Shazia Almi, spokesperson of the BJP, Kailash Adhikari, MD Governance Now, Akil Khan and Vivek Srivastava, both political analysts. Shazia Almi, to you first. Aam Aadmi Party is saying कि अनपढ़ प्रधानमंत्री देश का लीडर नहीं हो सकता।
You know, I saw Arvind Kejriwal utter those words, and I think it's so also evident that he's so flustered. First of all, he said, this Prime Minister is the most corrupt. So imagine coming from somebody who led the anti-corruption movement once upon a time, along with Anna Hazare. That is a shocker, because clearly he's not been able to have one case of corruption against the Prime Minister or any of his ministries, or against the entire Council of Ministers. So clearly he's saying it, but he has nothing to substantiate with, because clearly he was the man who was out there in UPA 2 against every minister. So while he says it, he has nothing to show for it. Two, this completely personal and uncouth and disgraceful way in which Kejriwal is conducting himself just goes on to show that he is completely exasperated. He doesn't know what else to say. And you know, this displeases people a lot. So many of Kejriwal's voters people are not well read. And you know, there's a difference between being educated and being illiterate. So clearly he's a very you know, he is actually might be literate but not educated, Kejriwal.
इस तरीके की अकील खान जी, this kind of name calling just shows हताशा.
And I don't know how well is.
ये हताशा दिखाता है आपका कि अब now you've come down to गाली गलौज, अनपढ़ है, गवार है, देश का प्रधानमंत्री गवार है.
You see, this is our nation's misfortune that we got a Prime Minister whose performance you can see last 8 years that all extremity of corruption, extremity of division.
अरे सर, आप जो भी एक्सट्रीमिटी है उसको स्पेसिफिक एड्रेस कीजिए ना, या किसी को अनपढ़ गवार बुलाना. What is that? Why would you call somebody अनपढ़ गवार? Which, by the way, one is factually incorrect. Two is elitist.
अनपढ़ गवार नहीं है, पढ़े लिखे. देखिए, this is not, no, here, don't put words in my mouth or in Arvind Kejriwal's mouth.
Nobody is putting words in anyone's mouth. I will play for you again what Arvind Kejriwal said. And he said it, by the way, sir, inside the assembly. He said it inside the assembly.
Least educated. Yes, it is there. Because you see over the years what Prime Minister Modi has done. He has got a fake degree, Master of Entire Political Science. What is this nonsense? A Prime Minister doing this? He has done the graduation, fake degree. What the Prime Minister of our country, who is himself dishonest totally, how he can lead the country? And he had done 8 years, he had destroyed the countries. You see, politically, socially.
Okay,
And,
I don't know, first of all, whether you have any idea about what the educational qualification is of the Prime Minister. He has done his masters and he has made it clear in an interview that he gave to Rajiv Shukla long ago.
All the corruption and
अरे उसका क्या लेना देना है भाई with one thing or the other? आप अभी करप्शन की बात कर रहे हैं अकील खान. Now you've jumped onto his degree, then you've jumped onto political science. Vivek Srivastava, again, other than being factually incorrect,
yes,
it is basically name calling.
Madam, it is not the degree.
And may I point out,
please give me 30 seconds. I would like to speak, and then
since we are such sticklers about people's educational qualifications, let me tell you, Vivek Srivastava, that in the month of February, Arvind Kejriwal and Tejasvi Yadav held a meeting after which both leaders said कि हम साथ में मिलकर के democracy बचाएंगे. वो तेजस्वी यादव तो 9वीं पास हैं, he is 9th पास. उनके साथ मिलकर के अरविंद जी डेमोक्रेसी बचा रहे हैं, बट देश का प्रधानमंत्री अनपढ़ है.
राइट जी, अब आप देखिए मेरी बात को सुने और 30 सेकंड दे, देन यू इंटरप्ट मी. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हेन आवर कंट्री was getting independence, and lot of discussions were happening at that time between the Congress and other political parties that should we have some minimum educational qualification for the chosen representatives in the parliament or not. So many people were of the opinion that you should have it, but Mahatma Gandhi said no. Since the country is primarily poor, people are still not literate, people are still not very educated, majority does not have a degree, let everybody get a chance. Even if people are uneducated and coming from the downtrodden society and they are coming into the parliament or into the assembly, they would like to, represent the true voice of the people. That is what was said then. So that is why we do not have an educational criteria for fighting elections in our country. Number two, however, in this particular case, now it is 2023, and I believe we need a lot more expertise than we needed in 1947. Things have changed. In Dr. Manmohan Singh's government, I did not support him on his privatization policy. However, he picked up an expert, Narasimha Rao picked up Dr. Manmohan Singh as a finance minister. Dr. Manmohan Singh picked up Nandan Nilekani from Infosys. आप बनाइए साहब आधार कार्ड का minister आप बनिए. So, but then in our case here, in Modi ji's case, you see Minister HRD was a person, Smriti Irani, वो 10वीं पास है, 12वीं पास है, क्या है, nobody knows. So you do not have experts in this particular government.
Okay,
so even if the Prime Minister...
By the way, since you specifically mentioned Nandan Nilekani, who was chosen to champion UIDAI, do you know that Nandan Nilekani in Modi at 20 actually wrote that Prime Minister Modi is one of the most dynamic and idea-oriented people that he has seen. That's what Nandan Nilekani said, because there is a huge difference between statecraft, how you are able to govern a country, and what your educational qualifications are. Anyhow, respond to that. Kailash Adhikari, the difference was between the qualifications of people in the past governments and now.
Padmaja, I believe that today as an Indian I'm ashamed, because the Aam Aadmi Party has hit a new low, like a lower circuit in terms of Indian politics. I mean, the opposition, in terms of just opposing the government in power, is losing all their might, and it is, crossing all boundaries. Isn't the Honorable Prime Minister even their Prime Minister? Shouldn't they have any shame in putting out such posters? And are they completely blind to the massive mandate that the people of this country have given to the Honorable Prime Minister? Are they calling the entire country illiterate and not educated? Are they blind to the fact that how the world perceives India today? And to respond to what Mr. Srivastava said, with all due respect, the India's External Affairs Minister is a former IFS, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Our minister, one of our cabinet minister, Hardeep Singh Puri, we all know about his educational qualifications.
He's also from JNU.
So how do you come up to that conclusion, Mr. Srivastava? Let me complete. When you were speaking, I did not interrupt in between. Please have some decency on a television debate.
I just
on what basis do you come to such kind of conclusions that, and you talk about the educational qualification of our Honorable Prime Minister? I mean, because I was just hearing, I just need 15 seconds more.
Okay, 15 seconds more. Kailash Adhikari, please don't interrupt Mr. Srivastava. 15 seconds more.
Just 15 seconds more. And I am pretty amazed and I feel pity on the remarks made by the Congress leader whom I was hearing before our debate started, Padmaja, with all due respect to Mr. Udit Raj. Rahul Gandhi ji is from Harvard or Cambridge. Even he didn't know exactly where he is from, being a leader of the Congress party. He's confused, frankly. And he is comparing Mr. Rahul Gandhi and his political acumen and achievements to Honorable Prime Minister's achievements.
Maybe the entire futility of this comparison is best brought out by the comparison that Udit Raj has made, that here is a man who you are calling unpad, who has won 2 consecutive terms by a thumping majority and is close to making history as the only Prime Minister to have won 3 consecutive terms, and on the other is somebody who's gone to Harvard and Cambridge, as Udit Raj claims, and has still managed to lose his own parliamentary constituency in Amethi. Let's leave it at that. I'm getting more news. Thanks very much, gentlemen, Shazia Almi, for joining, because we're getting news right now from across the country.